Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do a detailed review on this beautiful kitchenware coffee maker. This is part of the Drew Barrymore collection, exclusively sold at Walmart for $60. It does come in 4 different colors. They do sell out of these really quick. And again, it's only at Walmart. And I had to get it online. I wasn't able to find this at my store. So the machine is kind of a big machine, but it's 14 cups. Most coffee makers are just 12 cups. So this is 14 cups. It's got a touch display. It's got this really nice B for, I guess, Barrymore on the front. But it is a touch display. We open the lid. Here it does come with a reusable filter. This is a number 4 cone filter. It's got this basket. It's a little tricky to get out, but it does have a handle. There's your filter basket. There's where the water goes. It does have some steps to let you know how much water that you're putting in. And then it's got a carbon filter. So I've got the carbon filter installed, and there's a spot for it to go right down in there. So those are nice features. There's the brew head. There's where the hot water comes out into the coffee. This is a tall coffee maker, so it's not going to fit under a standard kitchen cabinet. So with the lid open, it's about 22 inches tall, very tall. About 9 inches side to side, and about 8 inches front to back. No cord storage, but it does have a 3-prong cord. Let's look at this. Now this is kind of a bigger cafe. It's got a hinge lid. It feels pretty nice. It's you know, like I said, there is a lot of plastic on this, but it does look nice. It does have a warming plate, so it is going to keep your coffee warm. And it does have that pause brewing. I'm going to show you that. The touch display, I mean, it works. It does hiccup on me a little bit, but this is always going to be the default. It's always like coming on and off. So with the machine plugged in, you know, that's always going to be cycling on and off. That's to let you know where to touch. So the first thing you're going to do is, so when you want to brew something, you have to touch there first. Then you can select, again, it just doesn't work all the time. There's 3 different strengths. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. You have to wait for it to time out. Hit it again. I find that the touchscreen works better when I'm touching the machine with the rest of my hand. We can do a 1 to 4 cups brew. We can set the clock. That does have a clean light and a clean function. And there's the keep warm, so it will keep the warming plate on for 4 hours. I can adjust that too right there. So keep going through, and I can turn the beeps on and off. So if I hit the program button now, the beeps are on and off. If I hit the program button again, the beeps are on. It does beep at you when the coffee is done. I don't find it super annoying, and it didn't seem to bother my dogs. So once you establish what strength you want, then you just press this button again, and that starts the brew process. But I'm going to stop it real quick. So it's not, you know, the touchscreen can be a little tricky to figure out. After 20 seconds, all of these turn off, and then this just starts that cycling again, on and off, to kind of let you know where to touch to start the process. See, there it turned off. So I have to do, you know, just pressing it one time kind of like turns it on. That doesn't start the brew process. I gotta, if I want the strength on that, I just leave it there and hit the button again. And then you can tell it starts the brew. Then I'm gonna hit it again. I'm gonna turn it off manually. It even has a charcoal filter thing that comes on to let you know it's time to change the charcoal filter. It also has a clean light. It'll say clean after 300 brews to let you know that it's time to clean the machine. And then it has a clean function. I'm going to do a separate video on how to descale this. So when the clean light comes on, it's time to descale. But right now we're going to brew a pot of coffee. And first, it's got this nice little lever on the side here. We're going to lift it up. Again, I've got the brew basket in. You can use a reusable filter that it comes with this, so that's very nice. But if you don't like to use reusable filters, you can use a number 4 cone filter. And so you would just make sure you remove this. You can only have one filter in at a time. And then just put your number 4 cone filter in like this, kind of smash it in, and there's a nice big opening you can put your coffee in there. I like to brew my coffee with paper filters. You do get a little richer taste with a reusable filter, but you get a little bit of sediment in the bottom of your coffee. And I've got a video on with paper filters and reusable filters, the differences. I do think it tastes a little better, but you do get some sediment. So for this video, I'm going to be using a paper filter, but you can repeat all these steps with the filter that it comes with. Okay, so it takes standard drip coffee maker coffee at a medium grind. It does come with a scoop. So I just checked it. So if you lose the scoop, it's just 1 tablespoon. So the scoop equals 1 tablespoon. So since this is a 14 cup, it's got 2 lines on here because you're going to put this much water in, but this is how much coffee you're going to get. You always lose some to steam. So I'm going to do a full 14 cups of coffee. So it says to put 1 scoop or 1 tablespoon of coffee grounds per cup that you're going to brew. And this machine will brew all the water that's in the back. You don't program it to brew 8 cups, 10 cups. The way that you want to brew a 6 or an 8 cup pot of coffee is that's how much water you got to put in. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to brew a 14 cup. I'm going to fill this up with water, and then I'm going to put 14 of these scoops or 14 tablespoons. And we just put the coffee right in the middle. Okay, so I've got 14 tablespoons of coffee right there. Now I'm going to take this over and I'm going to fill this up with water. Again, I'm going to fill it up to the water side. And that's how much coffee I'll get on that side. Okay, so I've got this filled up with water to the 14. Again, if I was only going to do 8 cups, I would just fill it up to the 8 cups. And then just put 8 tablespoons in there. But let's see how it pours. It's got a nice big opening, sort of. This is a pretty heavy coffee pot with 14 cups in it. Okay, so it pours pretty good. Okay, so I've added all the water. We're up to the 14th step. The water's just below it. Don't overfill it or it will come out this hole in the back. It'll come out right there if you overfill it. So let's put the coffee pot in right now. Okay, we've got it in. We've got to make sure to close the lid because the hot water is going to come out of that area. It feels like it closes pretty good. Now this is where we got to press this button. And I'm going to do a normal strength. So I'm just going to press the button again. Now I've started brewing. Okay, so it starts brewing almost immediately. It sits there for a little bit. It's not super loud right now. And it kind of sounds like a standard coffee maker at this point. Okay, so let's see how it's doing. Yeah, we got a nice bloom coming off of the coffee. So it's been about 3 minutes and we're about to the 3 cup mark. Let's see how, again, it's doing a pretty good job. It's getting pretty close to overflowing, but we'll see how it does. So again, let's check on the brew process. Boy, it's getting pretty close. It's getting pretty close to overfilling or overflowing that filter. Maybe it works better with this. I'm going to try my next brew with this. But I want to make sure I'm not getting any coffee grounds in my coffee. And if it overflows that filter, I'll get coffee grounds in the coffee. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes. We're at the 12 cup mark. And it sounds like it's finishing up. We are getting some steam. This does get really hot, so be careful. Let's see how the coffee grounds did. Yeah, it looks like it overflowed. Right there. Darn it. So we still got some water that's dripping out, or some coffee. I can already see coffee grounds in the coffee. So it does beep at you when it's done. So again, we're almost to the 14 cup mark. The display changes now to a timer, and it's going to count up to however long you have it set to keep warm. The default is 4 hours. So it's going to keep this warming plate on for 4 hours, and this will count up. So when you walk up to the coffee maker, you'll know exactly how long the coffee's been sitting there. And again, I'm a little disappointed. It did overflow the filter. And I do have some coffee grounds in my coffee. Now, to be fair, the manual does not talk about using a number 4 cone filter. It only says to use the reusable filter, but I would hope that most coffee makers that you can use a reusable filter in, you can use a paper filter in. And again, the display changes to keep warm. And again, that's a timer. So let's see how it pours. Yeah, it pours good, but it's really heavy with 14 cups in there. It's a really big coffee pot. Again, normally they're just 12. $170. That's a really hot cup of coffee. But again, I can see coffee grounds floating around in there, especially in the coffee pot. Now, taste-wise, I tasted one earlier. It tastes fine. It tastes like a normal coffee maker. Cone filters do tend to taste a little bit better. So this does make a pretty good cup of coffee. Let's go over cleanup now. So there is a little handle here. It's a little tricky to get. Normally these handles are a little easier, but you can lift this big. That's the big handle for the whole filter basket. Now I can take. It's not going to drip. There's that plunger that keeps it from dripping. I can take this over now to the trash can and dump it out. So I just want to show you I dumped the filter out, but I do have coffee grounds in the bottom and the sides of the filter basket where it overflowed. Now, if you don't want to wait the full 4 hours for it to turn off, you can just hit the brew off button and it turns it off. So now it goes kind of to this display, but after 20 seconds, it'll go to like they're off, where that's kind of cycling on and off. So I dumped the coffee out of the pot over a white plate, and that's all the coffee grounds that were in the pot. So again, maybe you're not supposed to use a paper filter. Normally you can. I'm going to do another pot with the reusable filter. Okay, so it does say that these are all dishwasher safe, top rack. Again, this is pretty big. You can take this lid off. So the lid does come off. It's on there pretty good though. Normally there's like a little cutout that makes getting these lids on and off a little easier. This one was not easy to get on and off. But again, you can put these in the dishwasher top rack. Okay, so this time I'm going to use the reusable filter. It's sitting up in there pretty higher, so I don't imagine this is going to overflow. I've got my 14 cups of water in already. Again, I got to close the lid, and that's just flashing at me. So I just press that. I'm not going to do a different strength, but I will explain the different strengths to you. So there you've got the second strength, which is what they call that gourmet. And then this is what they call, the 3 bars is what they call bold. And each one of them takes about 5 extra minutes to brew. So if you go with the 3 bars, it's going to take about 10 extra minutes to brew. So the water kind of cycles in there a little bit slower. It still brews at the same temperature, just a little slower. So again, no. I'm going to do a regular strength, and I'm just going to turn the coffee maker on. So now the brew has started. And really the only way to tell that it's brewing is like that's on steady and the strength light's on it. You know, there's not really a brew light. So we're at the 4 cup mark, and it's getting pretty high in the filter basket, but it's not overflowing it. So I don't anticipate I'll have that problem here. Okay, so it just finished up. Let's take a look. So you can see the coffee grounds get pretty high, but they do not overflow. So I'm not going to get any coffee grounds into my coffee. So clean up with the reusable filter. You're going to want to, you can take the reusable filter out. It might drip on you a little bit, but you're going to have to get those coffee grounds out of there. And then you're going to have to wash it with soap and water. So here's the first cup of coffee I fixed with a coffee filter. Now I don't get sediment, but I did get some coffee grounds in there. Here's the second one I brewed, and this was with the permanent filter. No coffee grounds, but a little bit of sediment in the bottom. Not too bad. The longer you let it sit, the more sediment you might get in the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to set time on this coffee maker. When you first plug it in, it will flash 12 at you. So you got to turn it on first. So I find this touch display works better if you're kind of holding the machine a little bit and then press. So now you got to hit the select button. You're going to cycle through. There's strength. There's 1 to 4 cups. There's the clock. Now we're going to set the clock. Sorry about that. So this button sets the hours, and this one sets the minutes. So we do have a PM light and an AM light. So right now, boy, sometimes the touch display just doesn't work the best. Hit select. Again, there's the hours. It's 3:15 PM right now. And then just let it sit and it's going to memorize it. Okay, it memorized the time. Okay, so we can also change how long the warming plate stays on. The default is 4 hours. After it's done brewing your pot of coffee, it will stay on for 4 hours. Then the coffee maker will turn off automatically. Again, turn it on, hit the select button, kind of step through. Yeah, see, it doesn't do it all the time. Clean, it's after clean. Keep warm. So I can change this to 0, 15, it goes in 15 increments all the way up to 4 hours. So let's do 2 hours and 45 minutes. That's how long the warming plate will stay on. And I can change that from 0 to 4 hours and 15 minutes. Okay, so let's say you want to turn that beep off. It does get a little annoying, and it will turn it off after it's done, finished brewing this pot of coffee. It does beep at you. So hit the select button all the way to the end after clean. Keep warm, program. See how that's flashing? Hit the program button and that'll come on steady. Now there's no beep. And it won't beep at you when it's done brewing a pot of coffee either. So now let's say you want to brew a pot of coffee to come on at 5 o'clock in the morning. Make sure you've got your water in the back filled up and your coffee grounds in before you go to bed. And now I'm going to show you how to set the display. Now I was having a little bit of trouble with this, so you got to turn it on first. Turn it on by hitting that once. You got to hold this program button, and then it's going to change. Now you can set the time. This one sets the hours. Make sure it's on. There's an AM and a PM. I want AM. I want 4. Then this is the minutes. I want 4:15 AM. Hit the program button one more time, or I can just let it time out. So when I let it time out, that light stayed on. I'm in my single brew strength, so I should have changed the brew strength if I wanted to before I set it. But with the program light on and nothing else on, it will come on at 4:15 in the morning. Now let's say I want to cancel that, hit that button. Now I want to set my strength. There's the strength, so let's go a bold strength. You got to let it time out. Now hold the program button. There's the time. I can hit it again or let it time out. Now it's on the full bold strength. The program light's on. It's showing current time, but it is going to come on at 4:15 AM. And again, it'll brew whatever water you put in the back there is what it's going to brew. So if you put 8 cups of water back there and 8 tablespoons of coffee, that's what it'll brew for you in the morning. Give yourself about 15 minutes before you're ready to start drinking it. Again, this coffee maker has a clean light. So if the clean light comes on, check out my next video where I'm going to show you how to clean it with vinegar. So this coffee maker looks really nice. I was hoping the touchscreen might work a little better. I was also hoping to be able to use a cone filter, a paper filter, but it didn't work. The reusable filter worked pretty good. It is 14 cups. That kind of makes everything bigger. I'm used to more of a standard 12 cup, or even I'm used to some 10 cup coffee makers, and those seem like a little smaller size. This does get a little heavy when it's full of 14 cups. It does have an overall plastic feel to it. It is stylish though. I do see why they did the touch screen, you know, and the overall look of it is very stylish. It does make a pretty good cup of coffee if you use the reusable coffee filter and not the paper filters. So it says it's 1200 watts. Key features 1 to 4, charcoal water filter, no weight pause, yeah. Long lasting steel with soft matte premium finish, easy wipe clean touchscreen. Seems like the black one they have in stock more often. There's 3 other colors that they sell out of really quick. I think they're a little bit prettier colors. Again, check out my other video. I'm going to show you how to clean it. Thanks everybody for watching, and if you could, please like and subscribe.